What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me here again for another movie reaction. Today I am going to be checking out American History X, and this one won the poll on Patreon by pretty much a landslide, and so I'm super hyped to check it out because a lot of people have been saying really good things about it. I've heard that it has some relevancy to things going on today. I've heard that it gives or showcases a great performance by Edward Norton, who I like as an actor. Obviously saw him a little while ago in Fight Club, and so happy to see him in another movie here. But those things definitely make me excited to check this one out. And other than that, I don't really know anything about this movie. I don't think I really had even heard about it before I started the channel, and so I'm going into this pretty much almost all the way blind, and so everything in it will be new to me. And so there's not too much I can say about this beforehand, but I hope you guys are excited to watch me react to it. And as always, if you'd like to watch along with me for the entire length of the movie, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you can find the full reaction to this. Obviously you'll need your own copy of the movie, but you can also find all my other full-length reactions there as well, and be able to vote in polls and decide what I watch or react to in the future. If by the end of this video you enjoyed watching my reaction, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. That helps the video reach a lot more people, helps the channel out, so I appreciate all of you who do that. And because a few of you have said that this one is a little bit relevant, deals with some heavy stuff, I'm definitely looking forward to interacting with you all in the comments of this and discussing maybe any of the ideas or themes that the movie presents. You guys always have great insights and comments about the movies I watch, so I always look forward to that, and especially with this one, I'm looking forward to it. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into American History X. I didn't recognize any of the actor or actresses' names in the opening credits right there, except for Edward Norton, obviously. And so is this a movie that was kind of under the radar at the time, and it's just gotten more attention recently? So is this whole movie going to be in kind of this black and white type style, or is this just for the beginning?
There's a black guy outside. He's breaking into your car.
How long's he been there?
Derek, wait! Derek!
Dang, so his chest tattoo isn't a good sign. Obviously, this takes place in a more present day, though, so does he just carry the ideals? Oh, just straight up killed him, no questions asked. It's starting out like that. That's gonna be a pretty heavy movie, I can imagine. Jeez, Edward Norton looks intimidating in that shot right there. He beefed up for this role.
Arguing for Hitler as a civil rights hero, you've got to draw the line.
If you told them that they could do a report on any book that related to the struggle for civil rights. And he harbors some sick ideas, but I am not ready to give up on him yet.
Interesting. So his younger brother wrote that report? Edward Norton's?
I know he was a good kid, and it's a shame what he's been through, but that is dangerous.
Dangerous in what way? He learned this nonsense, Murray, and he can unlearn it too. I will not give up on this child yet.
Shoot, hitting hard with the thought-provoking questions and everything. Two very different ideals there with the two people.
Derek got out this morning, did he not?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, it
He was
must
one of my students. You knew that, right?
have been for the stuff that happened in the beginning of the movie that he just got released for.
Mein Kampf! I should expel you.
Go ahead.
I'm your history teacher from now on. We will call this class American History X.
Early title drop.
Prepare for me a new paper due tomorrow.
Well, what do you want me to do it on?
Your brother. How these events helped shape your present perspective concerning life. I'll be the only one reading it.
I like this teacher, man. He expects a lot out of his students, but is willing to give them the benefit of the doubt in their first mistake like that. Because as we saw from that other professor or teacher or whatever, he was ready to just expel him right away. But this teacher is more interested in helping him evolve his ideology and learn better habits.
Huh? What's wrong with you? You wanna die? You lucky I gotta go to class. You ain't gonna do that.
I feel like this is going to be a movie that has so many things to talk about in it that there's no way that I'm going to be able to fit in all my thoughts.
LA County firefighter Dennis Vineyard was shot and killed. How do you feel right now?
Well, this country's becoming a haven for criminals, so what do you expect? Decent, hardworking Americans like my dad are getting rubbed out by social parasites. Every problem in this country is race-related, not just crime.
Dang, this is some heavy stuff. It seems from that first interaction that Edward Norton's character already had kind of those deep-set hatred feelings, and the killing of his dad kind of brought those more to light. I think that's part of the importance of education, because if people learn early on to deal with those kind of hateful feelings, then when a high-pressure circumstance arises, they know how to react better instead of just gripping on to those hateful feelings.
I come in this game right now. Same score, but we play black guys against the white guys. If you win, we will walk away. But if we win, right here in front of everybody, you pack up your and get your black asses out of here.
He's a pretty divisive character in this, but already Edward Norton's doing a great job with his performance. I can't imagine how hard it was for him to portray a character like that. Shoot. I think very interesting choice from the director as well, with the music and the shots and everything, because it's painting his group kind of as the heroes in this situation.
3 years without him. And then, 7 o'clock this morning, we picked him up outside the gate. The whole ride back, he didn't say anything.
Wonder if he changed at all with his time in prison. That'll be interesting to see. Could have changed a little bit, but could have easily gotten worse.
I forgot, man. It hurt like while they were putting it on, man.
When did you get that?
I got it about a month ago. Cameron made it official.
You put this on you?
Hmm?
Just from that little interaction so far, it would seem that he's got a bit of a different attitude when it comes to his brother having those things.
I hate anyone that isn't white Protestant. They're a burden to the advancement of the white race.
They're all a bunch of freeloaders. Remember what Cam said? We don't know them. We don't want to know.
Seems like as soon as Derek left, he had this bad influence come in, just forcing all these ideas onto him when he's already susceptible because of what Derek had done.
Did you turn in a paper on Mein Kampf? Your idea, or did Cameron put you up to that?
No, man, I thought it would be cool.
I'm telling you.
Was that Sweeney on the phone?
Sweeney's a good teacher, all right?
Hey, at least Derek agrees with me that he's a good teacher.
Sweeney is a good teacher. You can learn a lot from it. I don't want you getting in trouble in school, trying to impress me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I was doing it because I thought you'd be happy.
Well, I'm not.
Interested if he's talking to him and telling him these things because he wants him to be better than he was when he was younger, or if actually because he's changed and he doesn't want him to follow down the same path. Either way, it's the same goal, just different motivations. Every scene in this movie, though, so far, which it hasn't been that long into the movie, is like bursting with things to talk about and lessons. That's a pretty deep line right there. That could be why he acts the way he does at such an extreme.
2 million illegal immigrants bedding down in this state tonight. Decent, hardworking Americans falling through the cracks and getting the shaft.
Edward Norton is doing a great job with his performance so far.
Smells like fish and chips and guacamole, yo.
Jeez, dude, that's so freaking dark. Poor people didn't do anything but try and earn a living, and they got hired at a place, and now they're taking it out on them. So awful. Oh, I don't like watching that. That's terrible, man. These people are disgusting. Some truly awful people there, man. Those are some terrible things to do to another human being.
Calling a riot an irrational expression of rage, that's such a cop-out. It's opportunism at its worst. It's a bunch of people grabbing any excuse they can find to go and loot a store. These people have absolutely no respect for the law at all.
Dang, that is incredibly relevant to this year, man.
You know, it's like saying, it's not a riot, it's rage. It's not crime, it's poverty. It's just nonsense. The media twisted things around so people got all focused on these cops and whether or not they were going to get convicted and whether Rodney King's civil rights had been violated. I mean, the guy's a multiple felon.
Yahoo, there with a video camera, who turned it on halfway through, so that all we see is them hitting him.
Exactly. And those cops end up on the stand defending themselves for using absolutely standard textbook self-defense procedures.
I have so many things I want to say right now, but I'm trying not to miss the dialogue.
Think about this. Think about this. If Danny had been walking across the street that night and Rodney King had plowed into him...
Can we just drop this Rodney King thing?
It's almost like the writer of the script of this movie teleported or time traveled into 2020 and just copy and pasted a bunch of tweets and put it into his movie. This is literally so much about what is being discussed today. It's hard to believe that this movie came out just over 20 years ago, and it's arguably gotten even more relevant to the present issues.
Lincoln freed the slaves, what, like 130 years ago? How long does it take to get your act together?
Who the hell do you think you are?
Hey, Davina, sit down.
What are you trying to prove?
Murray, stay out of it. Come here. Hey, where do you think you're going? Get back.
Oh, jeez, dude. Stuff like that shows a lot of his character in a situation, completely devalidates any of the points that he was hoping to make before, just because of his despicable attitude.
What did I do?
Your hair and your dress.
What did I
Don't touch me. All parted up.
What did I do to you?
Aren't you ashamed?
I'm ashamed that you came out of my body.
Whoa, man, this is so heavy right now. My goodness. This is some incredible performances, though. This is definitely the first movie that I've done a reaction to where there's so many instances where I just want to pause it and just talk about what I just watched. And the way this movie is handled, I mean, when these issues are talked about in the news or on Facebook or wherever you might read people talk about it, it's usually in a way that is upsetting or not tactful at all or politically motivated for one side or the other. But I think this movie does a great job at just presenting things in a interesting way that makes you want to watch. And obviously all these issues are very politically involved. I feel like the director and the writer of this movie aren't telling their story in a way that's too preachy or anything, but it's just placing the issues in front of you and kind of letting you as the viewer see cons to the things that it's presenting. In this case, Derek's views. I don't know if any of that made sense.
Come here! You should have learned your place on the basketball court. You ever shoot at firemen? I'm gonna teach you a real lesson now. Put your mouth on the curb.
Oh gosh, he's gonna curb stomp him. Please don't show it. Please don't show it.
Now say goodnight.
Ah, no. Why did it show it? Oh, that's disturbing. This fool smiling too, man. He feels no remorse about it. Oof, man. Credit to Edward Norton, though, for being able to portray such just a monster. This movie certainly is not holding back at showing or saying anything. And as difficult as it may be to watch, it definitely helps deepen the emotional impact of the meaning and the message. Writing that story is definitely starting to affect him, it looks like. Just recalling the horrors of it. Dang, that changes things a little bit. So did he either not testify or did he lie in court? Oh, it's his girl. The fact that he's here at the party and interacting with everybody makes me think that he has not changed.
He's a manipulative, self-righteous Uncle Tom. He's trying to make you feel guilty about writing about Adolf Hitler. Some spick writes about Martin Luther King, gets a pat on the head. You can see the hypocrisy in that, can't you?
It's so interesting comparing the methods of teaching between him and his teacher, Sweeney. Sweeney's trying to cause Danny to look inward and to kind of journey through his own self-discovery, where this fool is just trying to indoctrinate him and just put down everybody else. But with the right mind and brain of somebody, that method is very effective, unfortunately.
I'm done with it. I'm through with this. Listen, you don't need this, Stacy. Come on, trust me. If you want to be with me, just trust me. Come with me.
You are nuts. No way.
Wow, I'm impressed. He has changed then. Wonder what happened when he was in prison to change his mindset like that. Obviously, it's not as simple as, oh, he changed, everything's good. Doesn't excuse his past things, but for the character in the movie, it's a step in the right direction.
What are you doing here, Danny? Come on. You knew I was gonna come.
Let the kid alone, Derek. He knows when to go to bed.
Come on, dear. I'm not doing anything.
Come on, there's this little blonde girl. She's sitting out there. She keeps asking for you.
Derek's been through the exact same thing, so he knows what's happening to Danny in there.
It's only natural you should feel a little funny.
I don't feel funny, Cam.
You made the fat kid a little nervous. He thinks the joint messed with your mind.
It did.
He's pretty upset hearing that from Derek, considering it seemed like Derek was his, prime apprentice.
You prey on people, Cam. You use them. I lost 3 years of my life. I came in here to tell you one thing. I am out, and Danny is out too.
Look, you can do whatever you want, but Danny is a good kid.
This version of Derek is much better. Glad that he's sticking up for himself and his brother.
He'll come to me. I'm more important to him now than you'll ever be.
Oh, dang. That was satisfying to see that punch. That's such a scummy guy, man. Just infecting the minds of young people, just recruiting them for his own gain.
Where are you going? She's gone! She's got a gun!
Shoot him! Do it!
Do it! God! Back up! Move!
Jeez, this is tense right now, dude. Amazing how quick they turn on him. They're ready to kill him right there.
Who do you think you are? Take it easy, Dan. Take it easy. Hey, come on, come on.
What's happened to you, Dare?
Come on. Come on.
Obviously, Edward Norton, his performance has stood out for me so far, but his brother, whoever's playing Danny, is also doing a fantastic job. Oh, sweet. We get to see what happened to him in prison. I'm very interested in this. Shoot, man, you'll make enemies real quick showing that in a prison. At the same time, you'll probably make some friends as well.
All you gotta do is put the mediums with the mediums and the large with the large, all right? I know it's a boring job, but it's better than that last they had me doing. Scrubbing hot-ass pots and pans. That you don't want to do.
This guy seems like a cool guy. I like his personality.
Danny, he holds you up so high. Starting to remind me of you.
I'm trying to get through this and you're just making it harder.
You think you're the only one doing time, Derek? You think I'm not in here with you?
Oh, dang. I love those lines of dialogue. That was so profound. Can't imagine the suffering his mom's going through.
No matter how fast you get through them, man, they're gonna keep bringing them in. What do I know? I know I ain't the one getting mad at them damn sheets, though. That's the ticket. Now we can ignore each other in peace.
I like that guy a lot. He's definitely probably going to have an impact on Derek's character. Maybe he's the reason why he decided to change.
Don't let her leave here in a fight, man. Because it's not like the real world. Because you can make up and have that make-up sex where you just lay on your back and let her take out all that aggression on you. You've been a bad boy, huh? You've been a bad boy. I may forgive you if you bring it. I think I can.
He's going through the whole process.
I forgive you. I love you.
That's a good interaction right there. Definitely the kind of person that Derek needed to interact with.
So you stole a TV? What's embarrassing about that?
I stole a TV from a store that was right next door to a donut shop, all right? Bam, I run into 3 cops, all right?
Cops Like Donuts, the classic.
You didn't get 6 years for stealing a TV, man. Come on.
Police officer grabs my arm, the TV falls on his foot and breaks him. They said I threw the TV at the officer. Assault.
Come on, tell the truth.
No way, dude. That's so freaking upsetting, man. I can't believe that. Definitely opens up Derek's eyes to a new perspective.
I used to blame everything and everyone. Blame everybody. Blame white people. I didn't get no answers because I was asking the wrong questions. Has anything you've done made your life better?
What a line right there, man. This is one wise man.
I'm thinking maybe the only reason I'm getting out of here in one piece is you.
You think I'm gonna put my neck on the line for some crazy-ass peck of wood?
Yeah, right.
That's freaking awesome, man. Had me feeling a little bit emotional watching that. That's cool. That guy's a good example of making a positive impact on somebody else.
I'm tired of feeling pissed off, Danny. And I'm not telling you what to do, but I need you to understand. Because I love you and you're my best friend. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
There's so many great moments in this movie, man. The writing is phenomenal. I don't know what else came out in the year that this was released, but definitely a good script. Potentially a contender for like an Oscar for original screenplay. Also, I liked how his interaction with his younger brother right there was all about showing him compassion and love, which is exactly what his friend from prison did to him. And that clearly has the most profound and long-lasting impact. Heck yeah, man. This is an A+ filmmaking moment with just the emotional weight of all the movie building to this, the imagery of everything being taken down with a combination of the music as well. The music is beautiful in that moment. It'd be very unfortunate if somebody died here and changed things.
I've never had a teacher like this. We got this essay exam on this book, Native Son. We're doing this whole black literature unit.
It's everywhere I look now. Affirmative blaction. Read the book, ace the guy's test. Just don't swallow everything he feeds you.
Oh man, that pisses me off so much.
I got 2 black guys on my squad now who got their job over a couple of white guys who actually scored higher in the test.
That sucks.
Man, that's really where all the issues start, man, is parenting. Bad parenting causes so many problems, immediate and long-lasting future problems. And that was very clever filmmaking to show his dad's personality and how he was the one who first infected his mind after everything had already happened, and after we'd learned that his dad was murdered earlier in the movie, thinking that his dad was some great guy because it mentions that he's a firefighter. That was a pretty powerful moment right there. I really like that.
We're gonna try to pick things up and start over, and I feel good. I'm not sure if this paper is what you wanted. For what it's worth, thanks a lot.
Shout out to Sweeney, man. What a freaking teacher. He 100% saved Danny's trajectory just by caring about him and giving him a chance to self-reflect.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Listen, I don't know if it's okay that I'm here. I want to be here.
That was a touching moment right there between him and his mom.
Give me the paper. Cool.
The way this is being filmed right now makes me really, really on edge. I feel like something's about to happen.
You got something good for me this morning?
I'll give it to you, Dr. Sweeney.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Even in that little interaction, you can tell that Danny's done something that he's proud of, which is definitely a great impact you can leave on a student.
Keep your head up, all right? Things are going to be fine. Go turn that paper in.
Okay. All right, see you.
Hey, Dan. I'll see you at home.
Dude, this dialogue has me thinking 100% that Derek's gonna die. You don't just film that long of a goodbye with someone's brother and not have it lead to something bad. The tense music especially didn't help my feelings with that. Wait a second. Is it not gonna be Derek? Is it gonna be Danny? That car only had a driver. Dude, no. Freak, dude. Freak this movie, man.
Oh, no! God, what did I do?
So I guess this is where I tell you what I learned.
Dang it, dude. I'm genuinely devastated right now.
Hate is baggage. Life's too short to be pissed off all the time. It's just not worth it. We are not enemies, but friends.
I was not ready for that climax. My goodness, that thing broke me there at the end. So much to think about, though. It's such a thought-provoking sequence. The entire movie is just like packed full of so many social commentaries and so many powerful messages. I definitely was not expecting to be so emotionally impacted, not just by the movie, but specifically by those characters. For most of the movie, both of them are pretty detestable, awful people with such hate and such destructive ideologies, but the filmmaking just flawlessly depicted such a real emotional transformation within them that by the end you can see the good that's come out of their efforts, specifically Danny's efforts in studying his brother and writing that paper, and how pretty much their whole life trajectory has been changed to a more positive outlook, and how their futures could have such like a more positive impact on society and the people around them. And then just to have Danny's life ended just like that by another hateful act is just very sad. And obviously the act against Danny was partially because of acts that had already been committed, so it's not like his shooting was just completely out of nowhere. But it's sad that it kind of comes full circle. I'll just start off by saying this is an amazingly well-made movie, just from start to finish. Super captivating. Everything, every bit of dialogue, the filming style, the use of color, of black and white, and then color in the future, all the styles just really worked for me. I think the filmmakers did a fantastic job, and for tackling such a bold script and material as they did, that's definitely a huge credit to them, because something like this could have easily been just messed up completely and could have come across the wrong way. But I think, at least in my opinion, what they tried to tell was very effective. And overall, for me, I feel like this movie was mainly about people and about change that people can have. Obviously, it's set on the backdrop of hatred and violence and various hate crimes and hateful ideologies, and how those affect people not only internally in themselves, but also their families, the people that they interact with around. But for me, the most powerful message of this film was definitely the ability that each of us have to change if we allow ourselves to. And in a day and age where people are all about going back and digging up things and trying to cancel everybody because of a mistake they made in the past, this movie definitely says some powerful things about that type of attitude and about not allowing somebody the opportunity for change. Obviously, I'm not talking about like, if you commit a crime, don't be punished for it. Obviously, nothing like that. In the case of the character of Danny in this movie, as far as I'm interpreting it correctly, his big mistake was just adopting his brother's ideology and just hanging out with the wrong crowd. As far as I saw in this film, I didn't think I saw him do any sort of specific hateful acts or anything like that. He just had that mindset and had a lot of hate in his heart. I could be wrong though, but in his case, going off that assumption, he was killed because of the people he associated with and because of his brother being who he was, despite making a huge change in himself throughout the movie. Obviously, we had just seen pretty much one day of him, so who knows how he would have changed in the future, but just his opportunity to change was taken from him. And so I think that part of the movie was especially tragic. And there's obviously so many tragic things in the movie, not to downplay anything else. Obviously, the hate crimes and the awful things that Derek did early in the movie were despicable, and some really, really hard to watch scenes. Some of the hardest to watch scenes I've ever seen in a movie, whether it's the curb stomping or the destruction of the grocery store and its employees, just some terrible things. And so it's hard to accept someone like Derek changing over just 3 years despite all the bad things he did. But the way that the movie is structured is so genius, because it doesn't let anything be a necessarily straightforward issue, because obviously we learn with Derek dealing with his brother after he's been out of prison, the head of the neo-Nazi organization, I'm assuming that's what they are, that he is the one that originally kind of took over Derek's mind and pushed him in this awful direction and kind of turned him into the monster he was, with the combination of his father kind of squashing any sort of compassion he had for people different than him. Overall, I think the movie shows how violence usually always results, especially in a case of hateful violence, usually always results in horrendous things. The violence in the beginning ruined Derek's life because he got sent to prison for it, and as a result of who he was, eventually resulted in Danny's death, which is the other case of hateful violence where Danny was killed not because of necessarily things he did, but because of who he was associated with. But it also shows the power of love and compassion and trying to bring out the best in others, and how that's kind of the most effective way of bringing about good things, specifically in the case of Danny's teacher, Mr. Sweeney, who in the beginning saw through his faults and his bad ideologies and decided that the best course of action was to encourage him to self-reflect and to take a look at his idols at the time and look in the mirror and see if there's any other ways of thinking about his situation, which resulted in a huge change of heart for Danny. And for me, I really loved that depiction of change and of Mr. Sweeney's compassion. And when I was feeling emotional by the end of the movie, it wasn't just for Danny, his character himself, but it was just the thought of everything that went into his change and how it would affect everybody. Obviously, it would affect Derek losing his younger brother and fully realizing the horrible effects that resulted of his earlier actions, how it would affect Mr. Sweeney. He had genuinely made a positive impact on one of his students' lives that was stopped short of becoming fully realized change. And I know most of what I've been talking right now is just about the messages and the thought-provoking things that the movie discusses, and not so much about the filmmaking styles or the acting or things like that. Obviously, all those things are phenomenal and are the reasons why the themes and the messages are so powerful. But I'm definitely glad everyone recommended this movie for me, especially on the Patreon poll that this one, because this was definitely a movie that impacted me a lot emotionally, and those movies are not too frequent. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching me react to this. If you did, I would definitely appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. That would help the video reach a lot more people, so I appreciate that, and I appreciate all your support and your viewership. It's been great having this avenue to watch movies like this and have great interaction with everybody, and so I look forward to seeing you all in the next one, and until then, peace.